Call the meeting order of Inland Wetlands Commission for Wednesday, April 1st. I'll ask Bruce to call the roll, please.
Ned Stachin,
Here.
Robert Eisner,
Here.
David Fox,
Here.
Richard Berlandi,
Here.
Daniel Popovic, Andre Simons, Mark Simpson,
Here.
Elena Carvith,
Here.
and Francis Roth.
Present.
All set, Chair.
Okay. I'm trying to remember who,
First one on the agenda is 598 Plainville Avenue.
no, I know, but do I want to sit somebody for Andre?
I see, yes. There you go.
Frank Roth is next in line.
Yes, yep.
Okay, so I will sit Frank Roth for Andre. If Dan didn't show up, then we'll see Alana for Dan.
Okay.
Okay. First item on the agenda, JBS Developers, 598 Plainville Avenue. Is the applicant here?
No, he's not, because they sent us a revised set of plans Friday. So
Okay.
I'm going through those. I didn't bother sending them to you because it was so late, and we haven't gone through them and got a chance to do a full review. So I am going through those as we speak. I'm about halfway through them, so I'm going to go over some comments with them. I hope to have a full set of comments for the next meeting, April 15th. So at that point, you guys can make you can make your decision of significance, and then I'll possibly vote on it at that point.
Okay. So the plans that are in the SharePoint file and for 3/27/26, March 27th, 2026, are not the most recent.
Was that the ones? I apologize. Then was that the ones maybe I did slide them over. Let's see. What did
Yeah,
I put?
there were two sets.
Yeah.
Would have been about March 27th.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's right. I apologize. Yes, I must
Okay.
have thrown in there, and I forgot I did. So
Yeah, I don't know when you got them, but
yeah,
I know
that's
you just got them. Okay,
all right.
so we're gonna table that till the next meeting.
Exactly. Yes. So
Okay.
all right.
Next item, Town of Farmington Recreation Department, 20 Wolf Pit Road. Is that Jesse?
I think the applicant is here.
Okay.
Jesse, if you don't mind just giving a little quick update, I have it right here just to update those that may not have been here.
Sure. So we're applying to put in the batting cage uh, for Little League and high school use over in the corner of the property. 70 by 15 foot, small poles in the ground. I'm not sure what else I should say.
Does anyone, I guess
Go
ahead, sir.
Is there any like they're gonna take out like 2 inches of dirt and or soil to put in pea gravel or the crushed stone?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is the town gonna take away the dirt or is it gonna be used somewhere else?
I believe the dirt would be removed.
Okay. All right. I don't have any additional questions. We'll go through the commission. Uh, Rich Berlandi.
Is that area currently grass or what is it right now?
Yes, it's currently grass right now.
Okay. That's the only question I have. Thank you.
All right. Dave Fox.
No questions.
Robert Eisner.
No questions.
Uh, Still nothing from Dan?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna see Ilana for Dan.
Okay.
Mark Simpson. I saw him there. Oh,
Mark, I don't think we got you at the end. I think you
No questions.
Okay. Alana,
No questions.
Frank Roth.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Seeing everybody doesn't seem to be too impressed with this. Did they submit an application or
Yes, they did.
okay.
Yep.
So
And I have a few comment, the only comments I had made as staff was just with regarding erosion control. So just any kind of condition of any vote should just be to include erosion control as approved by staff.
okay. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the application with the stipulation that they use an erosion control approved by town staff. Can I get a motion for that, please?
Mr. Chair, don't we need to accept, correct?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
we accepted this last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I sit
And
corrected.
we
Thank you.
also voted no sidewalk and that it wasn't significant.
Thank you.
Am I right? That's my memory, Bruce. Am I
No,
right?
I'm just looking at my agenda review and I think that's why I think I threw off the commissioners because that I didn't fill in the accepted application date. So, but yes, it was accepted. The application was accepted at the March 18th meeting. And then we determined there was no need for a site walk as well.
Okay.
And we did no significance as well. So all three.
Okay. All right. So then we could make a motion to approve with the erosion control as specified by the town. Can I get a motion of that, please?
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the application. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, the motion passes. Happy hitting.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, cease and desist.
All right, I gave the owner another contact to hopefully call and see if they could work something out. I haven't heard back from her, so at this point, I'm thinking the best thing, I'm gonna give her a call again, set up a meeting and meet with her on site, walk it, see what's changed since the last time we were out there and go from there, but I am explaining to her, at this point, we need something planted this spring. So I don't
Yeah.
want pushing this off because next thing you know, it'll be summer. We can't do anything in summer, then we'll be looking at planting in the fall. So I've got to push back at her, and if not, we may need to move with citations if this doesn't get going.
Okay,
All right.
okay. Um, Other business, discussion on hybrid meetings. I just want to start off with a little history since many of you weren't here when we were doing meetings at the town council chambers. But the history is that when COVID hit, the changes were made. The commission didn't vote on that, on those changes. The town just went forward and worked quickly to protect the safety of the commission, the staff, and anybody attending the meeting, the applicants or public people. So that's how our meetings came to be in this format. But before that, they were public meetings and they were held in the council chambers. Um, but there are some problems with that. While it is certainly much more convenient, what can happen is if we get a applicant who is unhappy with our ruling or wants to challenge it in court, there are things that this meeting format can do in regards to questioning the credibility of the commission's decision, like in the format of, sorry, in the format of, were people paying attention at the meeting? Were they following? Were they listening the entire time? And so sometimes that can bite the commission. Um, I won't say where it'll bite them, but that it could be difficult, or make it difficult for and find a foothold for the applicant's attorney to question the credibility of our decision. So we've had some discussions with the officers, or Bruce did, and we're thinking it's time to go back to our old format to protect the commission from anything that might happen legally if we're for any of our challenge decisions. Um, we do want to still, we know we have members with young families, and we have people traveling that visiting family out of state sometimes. So we do want to offer it as an option, but we really would like to try and get everybody back into the normal meeting format. And if something happens, or if you're sick and you don't want to get other people sick, that's a reason not to do it. But we would like to try and get back into the normal meeting format. So I'll ask Bruce, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for doing that. But yes, so as he said, it's not that it's solely all in or nothing. I mean, if you are sick, like you said, if you are sick and you don't want to come in, you don't feel like you want to be coughing but yet you still want to participate, that's not a problem. And we'll thank you for that as well. But yeah, that, and if anyone's significant other or children are sick and something happens with that and they have to be home, then definitely you can call in. It's not to prevent you from going to the meetings or participating in the meetings. It's just to get everybody back at the table. Because a few of the applicants had said the same thing, that they feel there's better connection between the applicants and the commissioners. So that's why we had decided as staff that I think the best option is to get everyone back at the table. So we will be starting this as early as the next meeting on April 15th. So for everybody, that's down in the council chambers in excuse me, in what we're calling the town hall annex, which is the old town hall. So if you've never been there, go in the front doors, go downstairs, and it's in the council chambers. So if anyone wants to show up a little earlier, just to make sure you get seated, get everything squared away, and we'll get you going.
I know in the past we'd had like sets of plans that we would share or something. Are there larger screens now, or are we still
There
going to
are
operate with sets of
there
plans?
are there's a handful of things. There are two larger screens on either side of the room, so commissioners can look with either side. And what happens is each count or each chair has a little tablet on there. I don't think it's that large. I don't think it's large enough to get into like a planner view, but if there's a document you want to look at, you could actually use that tablet right in front of you. So that's why I said, as I think if you come in a little early if you want, we can kind of walk through this, any kind of little sit you down, show you how the tablets get working, and you guys can get comfortable in your spots.
Okay, Robert's got his hand up. Robert?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair and Bruce, I'll add that in my discussions with other planning and zoning professionals, I think our commission really is an outlier. I'm not aware of any other town that is doing full remote meetings. So I think there, as Ned pointed out, it probably does create some litigation risk for our commission. there's no doubt that the convenience of having the remote meeting is great, but I think that the public benefit of having us live in person in the litigation risk really supports probably, changing to the pre-COVID, most common way of conducting the meeting that I'm aware of throughout the state and go back to a live meeting. So, end of my
Yeah,
comments.
thank you. I felt a little, awkward at times when, because I know that planning and zoning is doing full meetings, and I know that mostly all the other commissions, zoning board of appeals is doing full meetings. So I did kind of, I know I've asked in the past, uh, Bruce, if, if anybody was pressuring us to go back to normal meetings, and nobody has, but I think, what we're, as we get into sometimes we have more challenging applicants that want to do more than the commission is comfortable with, that and then if we get challenged in court, then not having a full, not having evidence that the applicants are right there paying attention and listening to the applicant's presentation, um, could be used against us. So I think we're doing this for the right reasons. And I said we didn't take a vote to change go when COVID hit to make this. So it's the town's decision. They're running the meetings. We are the commission, and we'll cooperate the best we can. But we do want to recognize that, sometimes people have young kids or other reasons or traveling, but they still want to try and participate. Then we'll try and make accommodations for that. But we do want to try and get people back into the habit of attending the meeting at town hall. One thing I would add is if you are going to attend remotely, that we keep our cameras on so that the electronic record shows that the applicants were paying attention to the presentation the full time. And I know you're doing it, just it's a little more comfortable, or you can get a little more comfortable without the camera on, but I think that's one way to assure that our applicants are getting our full attention when they make their presentations. So I'll just open it up to the full commission. I won't go around. Is anybody else have anything to add? No. I'm trying to think of, I know Robert was here, Mark Simpson was here, Dave Fox, did you do meetings at the town council chambers?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, okay.
And I just want to add, I don't have a camera.
Well, you don't have a camera?
No, you can see on my lineup, I only have a microphone. So there's
Oh,
no
all
camera.
right. Well,
There's no camera.
we'll have you ask a lot of questions.
It's a nice widescreen monitor, but it has no camera.
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about it after. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Anybody else have a question on it? Okay. So the meeting on February or on April 15th will be at Town Hall Chambers. I'll come in a little early to just to refamiliarize ourselves with the process, and they can spend some time with us before the meeting going over things. It will probably be kind of a long meeting if we're going to do JVS developers and the 598 on Route 10 there, or Route 177, I mean. So, but I just think it's the best thing, in discussing with the town. I think it's the right thing to do. It's the way the meetings were held before, and we're going to go back to that.
And Chair, I'll add on to that, if you don't mind. You did make a mention of plan sets in front of you, but I said we do have the screens on either side, and you'll have a small tablet.
Hmm.
Let's go to this meeting and keep it going. If any of the commissioners want a plan set in front of them, then definitely we can make that ahead of time and coordinate that. We'll get like, we don't have to get one for each person because
No.
you can't put that many on those tables for everyone to have. So if there is a request for them, I could easily have the applicant submit a few extras and we can throw those on the table. All right.
Okay. All right. The planners report.
None.
Okay. We will, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the March 15th Inland Wetlands Commission site walk. Somebody was at the meeting?
So moved by Robert Eisner.
Okay, and a second, please.
Dave will second.
All right, motion been made and second to approve the minutes of March 15th site walk. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. I will abstain. I was not at that meeting.
And Mark also.
Rich too.
Okay. I did go to the meeting, that was on that property was like a year and a half ago, Bruce. When we went there, that property the first time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the March 18th Inland Wetlands Commission meeting.
So move, Mark.
And a second,
Second it.
please. All right, motion's made and seconded to approve the March 18th minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Robert abstains.
Okay. Motion passes. So if there isn't any other comment, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:23. And that will bring up call the conservation agenda into order at 7:23. Is there any new business, Bruce?
There's no new business.
Okay. Planners report, natural resource inventory, planning and conservation development information.
I sent those out with the agenda.
Yep.
I'm hoping everybody read all 800 some odd pages, 1,000 pages. All right, because there's going to be a test. So this is so here's the link. Changed, removed. Oh, that's lovely. So I don't have the oh, I gotta go. What can I do here? Because it didn't work. Didn't like me. All right, give me a second. The link's not working all of a sudden, so. Come on. So. Oh, it's not in here either.
Is it still on the email you sent us?
Yeah, but I'm not at my computer. That's the problem. Yeah, I sent it to you through the email. I'm sorry. I can run it over. I can go in. I can run in my office and slide it over if we have to, because the link wasn't working that I actually set up. But I guess the discussion was, jokingly, I don't think everybody got through that. It is a lot of pages. It's a lot of information. It is, as Elena said, it's roughly 25 years old. I did a little research. I went back. It looks like back then it was $125,000 to put together. All right, so that was like 25 years ago, and the report is based on, if you look inside, there's a map. You know what? I don't like this. I'll grab it. Just give me 1 second, all right?
All right. Somebody traveling for Easter?
like to be going to Indianapolis, but I'm staying here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when Bruce is talking about, maybe Ned, you were saying how late that meeting is. Make sure you do your taxes before that night.
Yeah.
I have friends who go down to the mail to Hartford and mail it. It's like a big party. They go down there and hand it to somebody like, close to midnight as they can and walk away and they're happy. It's like a big party. Crazy.
I take it they're not getting a refund.
I know some who are procrastinators, and I know
Yeah,
two
well,
of
that's
them.
true.
Two of them are procrastinators, and they are getting refunds. That's their personality. Can't
Yeah.
change. You can't change it.
Well, this one's all. I have some bookmarks in here, but this is a generic version of, oh, right here. I think this is it here. There we go. Um, So this is one of the maps that's in there, and you'll see these are areas that they did some evaluation of. All right. So each one of these numbers on the map is correlates to a section in the book with regards to some some work that was done, and it's a mixture of whether it was on the ground or whether it was just data collection. So some of it could have been just pulling together soil survey data, NDDB data, and any other kind of GIS data that was available at that time. And then there are some areas where they actually went out, took some pictures, and did some on the ground research in terms of just looking at soils. There was no mapping of wetlands, just mainly viewing it, looking at the importance, looking at some of the wildlife habitat, things like that. So all of these will correspond with those sections. So you'll see a lot of these areas, and since 2005, a lot of these areas have either become town of Farmington open space properties or have since become conservation easements. So they are now encumbered and protected with those. So look at it, go through it. The commission can discuss it. I'm not. I can actually keep it on the agenda if everybody wants, and we could talk about this at a later date. But I'm not sure how much of this is worth redoing. I mean, mainly, like you said, number one, with the cost, but number two, with the amount of change since then, there hasn't been that much. I think as you look at it, as you'll see, like I said, many of these areas, take for example, Snowberry Cobble in that area. All right, that was one of the areas, but that area was developed and everything else around it was protected with open space and conservation easements. Same thing with the Maria Road. There's another map in here. You'll see. Which one is it? I gotta find them. Yeah, here we go. So same thing. It flagged this. These areas are what they call them, significant, critical land use and critical and unique wetlands location map. All right. So the Maria Road application that we went over, same thing. This is flagged as a critical area, and this has been developed or was approved for develop. Everything else around it has been preserved with either open space and or conservation easements. We have with the application we have on there for Plainville Avenue now. If that gets approved, this will be a one continuous line of open space from the property line, from the town line over to somewhere around here and encompass this whole area. So that is all protected. This area here, for example, was purchased by the town since that through a DEP grant, and that has now been preserved. So you'll go through it and you'll see the amount of work that went into it. I think it was a great tool back then. At this point, I'm not sure if it's cost effective to do a full report on this again. But as I said, go through it, see what you think, and we could talk about it at a later date. So, and on a side note, this was never. I'm not sure how this went through, but on a side note, I can't find it in discussion in any of the inland wetlands meetings, in the conservation commission meetings, or the planning and zoning commission meetings. So I think this was a tool that was used by the staff before us that kind of wanted to get an idea and look at this towards making sure that we protected certain areas with either purchasing them or getting them through conservation easements as part of the developments. So I think that's my spiel. If anyone has any
Okay.
questions.
Well, Alana, you seem to have more familiarity with this. Is there anything you would like to say about it?
Well, I did go through it over the weekend. And I think, for the time in 2005, it was probably a lot harder to get this kind of data. I know that for towns and conservation commissions that I've worked with before that have had these types of plans, once GIS really took off and became a lot more utilized, and the data was a lot easier to get, these types of plans were a lot easier to make, and simpler to make. And there's usually like collaboration with other uh, conservation organizations. Like I know that this plan had a lot of water quality data in it that I haven't actually seen in other plans before, but it was really interesting, like how much work went into that, getting all this water quality data. This is also the type of data that organizations like the Farmington Watershed Association and the Pequabic River Association are like currently collecting every year. And so I think it wouldn't be too hard to like update that data with the stuff that they have. But that but I also think like, yeah, a hundred over $100,000 for something like that is quite expensive.
Yeah. Um, I mean, we don't have a budget, Bruce. If there was like, say, there was a certain area we wanted to look at and not have a whole, townwide production or report done. I mean, do we like, would we make a recommendation to the council to provide funding for that, or how would that work?
Yeah, well, we would do it a few ways. One of them is we would have to do a budget item. It would definitely have to be a budget item. It isn't something that we can just do, hey, let's do this today, because we
Yeah,
don't have a line item for any of this work now. If it's a larger, if we get over $50,000, then it's something that we need to put through what we call the capital improvement plan. And that's a plan that gets mapped out over 5 to 10 years. So it gets put in one of those years and gets moved around as needed as things change in the town. We also have the option. Again, I think that what we need to do is sit back and say, what are we looking for? What data are we looking for, and why? And why do we need that data? Like I said, we can. We have the ability to do third-party reviews as part of an application. If one of these areas, let's say this area was wanted to be developed and it was flagged in this area, and they came in with a wetlands application, right? And a report, if we didn't feel it was adequate, we can discuss having a third party review, and the applicant pays for that third party review as part of that.
Mhm.
But I think it'd be interesting, and like I said, these maps are old. If you go on the website, there are all new town open space maps, but I can actually provide those for you guys if we want to dig down a little deeper, get a current open space map, see what's changed between 2000, maybe between 2005 and 2025. I think you'll see a lot has changed because a lot of it has been secured either through DEP grants, town council graciously giving the town the money to go out and purchase these properties and in a way to properly protect those properties. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to jump in this very harshly or very quickly, but take a look at it and we can go from there. And I have no problem discussing this as we go on, but I'm not sure it's a quick decision that we make that we actually
No.
need to make now. I mean, just as Lena said, a lot of this information was pulled out of databases and and it was a lot of legwork of sitting at a computer or going to DEP, probably getting that data. So now things have changed. You go to the DEP, there's quite a bit of GIS layers that we can grab off of there. And they do, like for example, the water testing, the sampling.
Yeah.
The watershed does that. We can definitely coordinate with them. The town of Farmington does a lot of water sampling. We've, as part of our MS4 permit, which is the municipal separate, God, now all of a sudden got a burp in my head here. Municipal separate stormwater permit. We had to go out and locate all of our catch basins, all of our outlets, do inspections on every single catch basin, inspections on outlets. We had to do sampling all around town, and we're continuously hitting those areas. We've flagged areas that are in what they call our critical areas where we need to evaluate and try to hammer down on what's causing the pollution in those areas. So we're taking those areas and we're going deeper, following from the outlet into neighborhoods, sampling catch basins and other outlets, trying to determine what that is. So there's a lot of active water sampling that's going on in town as we speak. So I think, like I said, I think we have a lot of data here, but go through it and we could definitely sit down and go over this in future meetings. And I see that Commissioner Fox has his hand raised.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bruce. The first page of this thing talks about being the foundation of the town's plan of conservation and development, which I guess was 2 years later.
Yep.
When is that document going to be redone for the town? And
The conservation, or the POCD.
yeah,
Yeah, they're putting out a request for a proposal very, very soon. And they're looking at getting that approved. I think it was late 2027. So it'll be late next year.
okay, because this document would be the C part of the C&D. So maybe that request will have to update this information for the town.
Well, yeah, there's no budget in there for this to be done as part of that POCD.
Well, there's going to have to be a conservation chapters in the plan.
Exactly, and what they're going to do is and that's what we were talking in house, that this document will be shared with them. They're going to definitely talk. They're going to talk with staff. As part of that, they're going to be the consultant will definitely be coordinating with all of the land use commissions via either like during the meetings, they'll be making a presentation during meetings, taking comments, questions. They're going to be working with the public, taking comments and questions, probably doing some public informational meetings to gather input from the residents on on where the town is going to move or where we would like to see the town go in the next 10 years. Town council will be involved. So there's so many boards and commissions that will be involved with assembling this document that this commission, as well as the Inland Wetlands Commission, will definitely be able to get involved in and comment on items such as this.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe as
Okay,
part
well-
of that, we could identify things that need to be updated.
Yeah, if I'm like Bruce was saying, if there's something that comes up and in one of those areas that was highlighted and is applicant, then that might be a reason to ask that applicant to provide more information or but no, I was looking at the executive summary that's only 45 pages long. Um, but we can I mean, I think we could maybe bring this back up again in a meeting. I know our next meeting is going to be very long, but give people a chance to look at it. Maybe take a look at the executive summary, some of the you know the graphs and material in the full report, and you can see if there's anything that we want to try and update, and then we'll talk to the town about it.
And definitely, and like I said, I'll work with the commission, and in our own office, we can develop a lot of mapping here. I can show you the map, the open space map, which is in this document, the open space map of 2005, and then show you the open space map for 2025 of what we own, Farmington Land Trust, and all the other like DEP and all other organizations that have secured either purchasing the property to preserve it or having easements over it. So you'll definitely see how the town has evolved from 2005 to 2025. And maybe that will help. And this map overlaid onto the new 2025 open space map, you'll get an understanding of how these areas have already been protected. So I think that may help a lot in terms of understanding a brand new document. And if there is information that the commission thinks we should update, then definitely it's something we could talk about and see how we would proceed with it. See if it's something that staff already has, and we could just get a map for you guys to show that we're pretty endless in terms of what can be done. And just as Elena said, back then these drawings, there was not really, GIS wasn't a thing. Now it's pretty much the way everybody works, and there are so many different layers that are available all over for different items that we could easily put together and create any kind of map that we wanted to. So
Bruce, what's the difference between property that the Farmington Land Trust owns as preserved open space and what the town may own as for preserved open space?
what do you mean? What's the difference?
I mean, is is the level of protection any different, or are they the same, or?
It's the same as far as I look at it. I mean, I guess you could argue if the Farmington Land Trust ever goes belly up someday and decides to sell all the property off and make a profit, I don't think that's ever going to happen or can
No.
happen, because a lot of those properties they purchase come with a preservation clause
Yes.
in them. So, but no, their property is just as secure as our property. The only difference on our property is some of the town property is like, we'll say like the schools. Is that really preserved? No, but it's under our control. So if the town wants to wipe out 20 acres and put a whole new athletic field, then you know what? We deal with it at that time, and we and we do all the same studies that any other applicant would do. So
Okay.
But like I said, those are just town properties. So there is a difference between town properties and town open space. So the open space is more secured in terms of passive recreation only. So
And the preserved areas are further protected. They have the conservation easement on it.
well, there are some properties that either we don't own. Let me see. I don't think Farmington Land Trust has any easements. But either, so most likely, so it's property either we own or property that we control with a conservation easement.
Okay.
So, and I think that's kind of, and again, I think this was a great module to push and secure those areas either through grants or purchasing them outright or getting conservation easements. So I think this was definitely a help for that. But I think at this point, I'm thinking maybe we can do a lot of this, whatever questions or concerns we have on certain areas, we may be able to address on our own or through a consultant if needed. So,
Okay. And you can send us out a copy of our most recent land use map or
yeah, I have those. Those
okay.
are all on those are all on the website as well. But what I can do
Oh,
is, what I'll do? Let me put together a little folder and I'll go through and grab a bunch of maps that I think may help. Okay. And we can go from there.
yeah, you could put it on our just label it for and put it on the SharePoint, the
Yep.
towns.
Yeah, I'll do a separate SharePoint. Unfortunately, just give me a little bit of time on that because,
Yeah,
as you say, we've got the public hearings, or we got a public hearing
yeah,
next
yeah.
next meeting and other things that I've got to prep for. So, but I will
Yeah, no
put,
rush.
like I said, I think this is if you don't mind, I will not, I won't keep it on the agenda every
No, 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 no.
meeting, but
Yeah.
it's there. If any point we want to talk about it, discuss it, we can definitely bring it up under other business and reevaluate and go into a little more
Okay.
discussion. All right.
All right. Anybody else have any questions to finish this off?
This is Dave. I do have another question.
Sure.
On the bike trail routes, I noticed this morning that the area just north of the parking lot on 4 by the tunnel, well, it had a fence across it and, keep out, trail closed. What's being done up there?
Burlington, Burlington
Oh, okay.
trail off at our parking lot to keep people from going up there because they're making some repairs, I think, and they're making and they're doing some tree work up in Burlington. So since there's no safe place to turn people around, they were just giving everyone a heads up to not go up that far.
Yeah, okay. It looked pretty imposing because usually when you do it, it's like a sawhorse with a sign on it. This was a 10-foot chain link fence across the entire
Oh, was it
trail.
chain link fence? I thought the last I saw was sawhorses.
Oh, no, it was a portable chain link fence.
They must have upgraded it. People
Yeah.
must have been going around it.
Yeah. It looked pretty
Yeah.
imposing and I didn't want to go.
Yeah, because I saw the picture. They had put a Facebook posting on it. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Because I remember there was a Facebook posting saying that it was actually closed. So
Yeah, and I was kind of
why?
worried because if it was done in Farmington, they probably guys would have come to us first. Hopefully anyway.
No, they've been getting pretty good. They call me and go, hey, before I get in trouble, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Do I need a permit? And I'll go yes or no, depending on what the work they're doing. So,
Oh, of course. Thanks.
all right,
Okay. Thank you, Bruce.
all right.
Um, next on the agenda is to approve the minutes of March 18th. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved, Mark.
And a second, please?
Dave will second.
All right, motion been made and second to approve the Conservation Commission minutes of March 18th. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I
Opposed? Abstain?
I abstain, Robert.
All right, motion passes. Is there anything else? Okay.
All I have.
Oh, Bruce, good, I think.
Me? You said,
Yeah, go
you have
ahead,
something for
Bruce.
me? Huh?
You said you had something?
No. I said, no, not me. I
Oh,
said,
okay.
no, I just said, give everyone a break. We're gonna have a longer meeting next, next time. So maybe,
Live and in person.
yes, we'll get to meet everybody, you know?
Yeah, so yeah, it would probably be helpful, especially those who haven't been to the council to try and come to get there a little early and get a better understanding of how the meeting proceeds or operates in the council chambers. All right, then we will call the meeting to close at 7:52. Thank you
That's
very
good.
much for your time.